Right, you lot, first video of 2025, and we're not going fishing, are we, Cal?
No,
I'm not going out there. Far too cold to be going fishing. So we've come in here, and what we're going to discuss is the latest Matrix Submerged that we put out on Christmas Day this year. Went out Christmas Day, and thousands upon thousands of you have watched it, and hopefully enjoyed it as much as we did making it.
Yeah.
So it's such a privilege to be involved in these underwater films, because you just get to see things that you never believed that were actually occurring underwater. And for me and Cal, definitely it's been a massive, massive eye-opener. But what we want to do today, we're going to run through some of your lovely, lovely comments that you've put on the end of the video and almost answer your questions. I mean, neither of us are ones to sit there typing, so we're going to have a nice chat with you all and discuss what you're thinking, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice and easy. I'm not even going to mess about. We're going to get straight into it. No messing whatsoever.
Straight on the first
So I'm
one.
going to get straight on it. Adam's going to stick him on the screen, and we're going to start with Scott Pardo, yeah. The name, I'm not too good at saying names, but we'll see. And Scott's going to say, let's read this one out dead quick. I've always fished paste in the mindset that they don't single the paste out. They just suck the lot in while scoffing the micros and hemp and whatever else you're feeding. What do you reckon?
Well, after obviously watching it back, then that's not the case, because when we changed colour, they definitely did home in on that pink paste. And obviously you're fishing with a hook bait; it's a lot bigger than the particles you're feeding.
Yeah.
So it didn't look that way, that they come in and just eat it in one go. They come in and they look for it and they single it out. Don't they?
I always see it as the opposite. I see paste as, other than a worm, paste for me is the biggest standout bait. It's massive, isn't it? It's flipping a big lump of paste.
And the thing was, we're fishing it in open water, so it's not like we're fishing it against a bank where they can only come in one way. They can come in from every different angle when you fish in open water. So having that paste on, they did definitely single it out from the other, from the bait that we were feeding.
Yeah. Touching on that, that's worth talking about. That's something that amazes me. The deeper we go, you think you're feeding a load of bait, and it's, do you know what I mean, creating a tight pile on the bottom, and they are going to suck something in by accident. Nothing's tight.
No.
In 6 foot, you're feeding, I bet you're feeding this. This is the perfect example, isn't it?
Definitely, with a little bit of toe on it as well.
Yeah, 3 foot square with a big cup. There is no lump for them to pick up other than your bait. So, yeah, I like it, but no. Not having that one, mate. I definitely do think they pick the pace out.
100%, yeah.
What we're on next one. Great video, guys. This one is from Paul Slatcher. I would probably have added, oh yeah, this is one for your plumbing up, Cal. I would probably have added another 2 inches to the rig, and I've strung out the bulk, starting 6 inches from the hook and moving up. I think what would happen, it would stabilise the pace more with the currents that is wafting about from the fish, and maybe, he must have put this comment on, mid-video, maybe try another colour of paste. Well, funny enough, we tried that, mate, it was a bit good. But the plumbing up thing.
Yeah, so what you got to remember, on the day, the circumstances weren't perfect. I had a 20-mile-an-hour wind in my face, and it was towing like mad.
Blame Adam for that.
Yeah, so basically, the plumbing up thing, basically, I think what was happening, I had to hold my float against my pole tip tight to try and keep the paste in a spot where the camera could see it, because you've got to remember, on the camera, it looked like you could put the paste anywhere, but you're looking at a bait box.
Yeah.
And to try and hold it tight enough so you can see, and try and be accurate enough that you can see the paste, I had to hold it tight. So what was happening, I think the wind was blowing in my face, and it was coming back underneath my pole tip. So I had to hold it tight like that, and that was just popping the paste off the bottom. And in the video, I did increase the depth, and it did make it a lot better. So yeah, you're adding 2 inches. Yeah, in that circumstance, I think that's right. But in a normal circumstance, when the conditions aren't as bad, and you can fish how I plumbed up and how I explained in the video, I think that probably would have been better.
Definitely. 1,000,000%. It's like you say, what people don't know is that window you're having to work with. It's horrible.
Honestly, right, the camera's like here on the bottom, and I'm dropping the paste in here, and it's sinking to try and get it to there. You wouldn't believe how accurate I had to be with my pole. I was using tape on my pole. So yeah, it wasn't the best conditions, but we still caught, which made it brilliant for me.
Sorted it, mate.
Yeah.
I've struggled. I've had it lucky in the past.
Yeah.
I get stuck with bait on my hook that I can lift and move. And even with a piece of corner pellet on, it's flipping hard to put it in that. Like you say, it's a bait box. And you're doing it with a wind coming that way.
Yeah.
And a 30 metres.
Was going right to left, 13 metres.
It's hard. You've never as accurate as you think.
It's not as easy as it looks.
No. It's a tricky one, that one. Right, what we on? Who's this one? I don't know who that is. That's not even a name ad, but we'll go with it. Having watched the video in its entirety, there is no doubt fish homed in on the colour. We'll talk about that now.
Yeah.
Talk about the colour.
Yeah.
However, I like this. We've read this before. What time of day was it when they started to home in on that colour? I was getting the sense it was getting late. 2:30 to 3 o'clock. He doesn't know me then. I'm well gone by then. And the fish tend to naturally feed in a more confident way then. Anyway, fair play, that it all makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But you actually spent the day before there as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Elaborate on the colour.
Basically, the day before, we had to go and test the cameras, test if it would all work properly. And the day before, I had to go with natural paste, and then I changed to paste to just have a little look to see if there was something we could do when we were filming, and it was unbelievable the day before. Massive, as well. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was probably even more noticeable the day before when we changed the colour, and that was in the morning. So we had fish coming in a peg for like 2 days, and I think the time of day was irrelevant. I think any point we were filming on that day, if I would have put a piece of pink paste on, I would have just caught one every chuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a great comment, and it makes a lot of sense. But I do think at any point, if I would have put that pink paste on, it would have been brilliant.
They'd have nailed it, wouldn't it? Yeah. I think the time of day thing as well, with a match, yes, I think that's more applicable. We've got a 4-acre lake to ourselves.
Yeah.
It was like the last hour all day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
There were plenty of fish coming into your peg all
you
day.
could see it all day. There's fish coming in. Every time we fed those micros, they were just immediately on it. Yeah. So it's probably irrelevant.
Do you reckon in fact, no, I'm not going to ask that because I know there's a question further down that will answer that. Right, next one. Oh, I like this. This is from Dave Johnson. And this is applicable to every flipping underwater film we've ever done with fish involved. And what Dave says is, it's gobsmacked watching this. The amount of fish in your peg when you think there's nothing there, it's daft, isn't it?
It's incredible.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
Isn't it?
Because obviously I was on the box, I can't see the screen.
Yeah.
And then obviously it come out on Christmas Day, and that was the first time I watched it. And looking back on it, thinking about how little my float moved for how many fish were in the peg.
That's the thing,
it's just like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's like incredible. Like,
that's even worse.
I know.
I'm having that. It's because it's not the screen, is it?
No.
It's that when I tell you there's 6 there and your float's there.
Yeah.
And you bet your life, like I did on the margin one, it's not in there, shut up.
No, nothing.
Isn't it? Not a chance of the fish there.
I think as anglers, because we catch a lot of fish on commercial venues, you just expect that when these fish come in your peg, you'll know. Yeah. You just expect it because you do get lots of bites on commercial venues, don't you?
Yes.
But in the case,
do you think there's a lot there when we're getting regular indications?
You think like the days when you catch 200-300 pounds, like you think how many fish are in your peg those days, you know? Like it's insane. And that's what's so good about the underwater filming for me.
It is. It shows that there's always something there, and there's potentially always something you can do there.
Absolutely, yeah.
To catch on, to find them ones that are clever in your peg. What's this one? Christopher Sharrett. Chris, that's a lot of waffling. I've never read this much in my life. Right. When they set the float, I always run the shot down to the hook knot and space it out 1 inch apart. So that's like a soft pellet rig.
Yeah.
Fish over depth by 3 inch. About right, it's what you were doing?
Yeah, roughly. In the end, once I've adjusted it, yeah.
Do you think that was a proper lesson in seeing how much to go over depth when the conditions change, how important it is?
Absolutely.
Massive, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to adjust it to what the conditions are. Yeah.
I'm always amazed at how much, when you zoomed in on it, when it's a bit nasty, because it's done it both days, hasn't it? It's got a bit windy both times we've been, how much your hook bait moves, just little.
Yeah.
Whether it bothers them.
Yeah. The curvature in the rig is massive compared to what you think it's going to be.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I think you need to think about depth depending on what's going on. Then I put a BB shot 2 inches away from hook. Right, you lost me right there, Chris. Sorry, mate. I'm not even reading that one. Don't be stupid. With the bias that the shot turns the hook, no, you go too carpy, I'll be there, too technical. When a fish sucks the bait in and blows it up because of the line, it can feel it, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
They eat it. When they're eating, you've not missed, I'm going to say you never missed a single bite where it ate it.
No, 100%.
You having that?
Yeah, definitely. And the problem is when you put that much weight on the line, you don't know when the pace is off.
No.
You put a BB 2 inches from your hook, you don't know when the bait, you're just not fishing when you do stuff like that.
You might as well throw a ledger with it.
Yeah. Just chuck a bomb out.
BBs just shouldn't be involved in match fishing, end off. They broke it in so many ways. We're not breaking this as well. And the fish hooks itself, so bait. No, too late, Chris. We've answered that enough. Right, next one, Jason Chapman. Would like to have seen how you would have done feeding hemp seed. We just had a chat about this.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. I think like back in a few years ago, hemp was very popular, and I think when hemp gets fed quite often, then maybe it's good. But for me now, modern times, modern match fishing now, I just don't think you can beat micro pellets.
Fish eat pellets.
Pellets. You got to remember these fish are bred on pellets.
Yeah.
They're not bred on hemp seed, and it just isn't as good. I've known from my own fishing. I mentioned earlier we went to Belingi and we were feeding micros, and a few years before we used to feed hemp. So I thought I'll give it a go, and it was just a waste of time.
You almost don't know what it is anymore, do they?
You can see from the video and all the edge ones you've done, micro pellets bring more fish in your peg than any other bait. Period. And I just don't think hemp would have been as good personally.
No, I don't think they want to eat hemp. I think they like the smell and the taste of it all. They don't want to eat it.
No,
they just want to eat crap, which micros are. Suck it in, poo it out, and do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
That's all they want to do, isn't it? Yeah. I'm in your gang. No hemp seed for me. Plus, it's messy. I don't want to do that. Right. Paul Blowers, learn two things. Firstly, if you're fishing for manky fish, we'll talk about that. We're going to go into that on this. You need something they can suck in, whatever their mouths are, which it's definitely a thing. Let's answer that first bit of the question first. That is a thing. We've been speaking about this as well.
Yeah.
The fish on there, what's it called? Parrot mouth? What's referred to often and a lot. I'm not having, it's because of hooks in fish.
No, absolutely. No.
I've seen it at Makins back in the days, not so much anymore. Bonsai at Lindome. This place where we've just been. I've seen it somewhere else as well, but I can't think. And speaking to people, it is the bottom.
The bottom, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Them fish spend their lives eating stones.
Stones, yeah.
And they're sucking them and spitting them. And I do think it builds up like a battered mouth.
Yeah, it like toughens the flesh. And I think it just like, it closes it over.
Yeah.
There's just too many fish with exactly the same shape and size mouth for it to be hooks.
Yeah.
It's just impossible for it to be only hooks. It's definitely the bottom.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm having that. Possibly a slight weird strain of fish as well.
Yeah, 100%.
That's susceptible to it more.
Yeah. You will always get certain fish with big mouths and different body shapes, but 100% that is not down to fishery management hooks.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I'm having that. It's just a type of fish, but yeah, it's worth thinking of. I remember back in the day at Makins, the best bait on a method feeder used to be an expander.
Yeah.
Or a single maggot.
Single maggot, yeah.
And they're this big.
Yeah.
And it was Andy Finley that got, that was why.
It just sucked it up and it just
And it was.
in
This case, I think the best thing you could have fished for them fish is probably micros with a 3mm expander on.
Yeah.
You catch one a bug, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you probably would have, yeah.
But yeah, definitely worth thinking about what the fish are like in your venue. This is why he feels dead maggots.
Yeah.
That's what we're on about.
100%. Yeah, he's dead right.
Secondly, what's this? Paste his pants. Oh, I like you even more, Paul. Fair play. Yeah. It's not. Paste isn't rubbish in the right situation. No. It's an amazing way of getting them to find your bait.
Yeah.
All it is for me is the aggro that comes with it.
Yeah.
That puts you off, innit?
Yeah. There's always a downside to paste, isn't there?
Yeah.
But on certain venues and certain people, when they got confidence in it, you can't beat them.
No. You wrapped it up perfectly on the film. Is that if you can find that perfect level of efficiency where you feed your bait, drop your paste in, and they come to it,
and eat it,
it's game over.
Yeah, you win.
Yeah,
100%.
It's just getting to that point.
Venues like that, there's certain people that go there. They're just unbeatable when they get on it, aren't they?
Yeah, when it's right.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm still not doing it.
No.
Come on. Here we are now. Ian Doxey. You could do 3 or 4 videos on this. No, not happening. Not on paste.
Jay would be there.
Yeah, I won't do that. Send someone else to that one. With different feed baits. No, I'm not liking it.
No.
The only thing maybe ground bait.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It
just gets messy, doesn't it?
It does. We'll talk about that with the one in a minute. But I like this. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wetter paste to see if it doesn't float around. Yeah. Bigger piece of paste.
Yeah.
Which we couldn't do because of the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those fish seem small to me. Yeah, they weren't tiny. They were
the last two
4 to 6.
Yeah, I think the last one I was £8.
Yeah. They're just match stamp carp, aren't they?
Yeah.
But as they say, take it to different levels. Yeah. What are we going to take from that question then?
I just want to touch on the wetter paste, and that is a brilliant comment because that's what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to fish wetter paste just to see that if the fish could suck it in better, if it worked better. The conditions didn't allow me to do it. I had to go the day before with the wet paste, and you've got to imagine we're trying to film for you.
Yeah.
So you've got to put a piece of paste on that will stay on the hook long enough that you can see it in your peg and you can see how the fish react to it.
Yeah.
The wet paste the day before, it was coming off in the conditions that we had. It was just coming off too quick. You've got to remember we're trying to film for you. Like, it's not a circumstance where you can drop your bait in and the paste just comes off and you can just quickly come in and put it back on again.
You're
we're
in
trying
6
to
foot
film.
and
Yeah.
30 metres.
Yeah,
If it was
30,
there,
yeah. If it was 2.5 foot and you're fishing it on a top kit and you got loads of fish coming in, yeah, drop it in like slop. You can do, but I'm trying to film for you. You've got to remember that. It's not the perfect situation for fishing paste, which made it even better for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
It is. No, I like that one. Bang on. Right. What are we on next? Oh, I like Flinty. He's down your way, isn't he?
Flinty, don't we?
Probably the best one I've seen. Defo banded 4 mils might be better. I'm having that.
Yeah.
Apart from the amounts of fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not better again. It's just less aggro.
Less aggro. We did put some 6 mils in, didn't we? And they didn't eat them.
They didn't eat him. If you'd have fished 6 mils, you'd have caught nothing.
Yeah, I know. I just don't. I'm unsure personally. I think you would have caught them, but I don't think they'll want to eat 4 mils as much as they want to eat micros.
Yeah,
No way.
that.
No way.
They've learned that is what they have to eat. Micros and ground bait and stuff like that. What we on? Blanky one. Here we go. Fantastic. Who's this? Steve Bush. Fantastic stuff, guys. Very interesting. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened if you'd big potted micros, then came back, baited up, as by then the micros would have settled on the bottom and you could fish over a bed in them instead. We've had a conversation about this again.
Just don't think you need to.
No.
Do you? Like,
yeah.
The perfect situation is to feed as little bait as possible to catch one and then repeat the process. You are the best I've ever seen at that. Just feeding a small amount of bait, catch one, repeat the process.
Yeah.
So if you're in a situation where we're putting a small amount of micros in and there's fish coming in your peg, there's just no need.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
And we've got the screen to see that.
Yeah.
Yes, if you were blind and didn't think there was a fish there, you might do it, but you wouldn't fish it. You'd big pot and leave it.
Yeah, and it just gets messy.
Of course.
Like, you've seen the fish, how they come in and they homed in on that pink paste. That's the situation. You just want to increase your chances of them homing in on your hook bait.
Yeah.
By putting more bait in, all you're doing is spreading it bigger and it decreasing the chance of them going boom on your hook bait.
Yeah.
So you just don't need to.
No, I'll tell you what, I'm from underwater again. The biggest thing I am learning is that volume of bait is nigh on irrelevant.
Yes.
It is constant bait.
Yes,
you need to feed, even if there's bait on your bottom, there can be, say it's 6 mils and there's 30 on the bottom.
Yeah.
You've got more chance of catching a fish by feeding again than you have sitting over them 30.
I think one of the biggest things I found difficult when I went away from the international fishing and come into commercial fishing, because international fishing is all about volume.
Yeah, you lay your bed, sort of.
You get 10 minutes to prepare your peg with your bait. So it's all about volume. How much bait you put in to get the right amount of fish in and catch for a certain amount of time. Commercial fishing isn't like that. When I've watched you fish, it's all about consistency. How you keep feeding. If you don't get a bite, you keep feed again and repeat the process and you keep going. And watching this back, watching your margin one, for me, it was all about just regularity of feeding rather than volume.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're better off feeding 6 times with the same amount as one.
Absolutely.
To make something happen, aren't you? Yeah, massive. I like that. It's almost giving me confidence to feed more.
Yeah,
especially now at rock bottom.
Yeah.
Where we feed 10 maggots now, say. I'd have been scared, but now you just do it.
Yeah, do it again.
Keep doing it, don't you? Till something happens.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then if it hasn't after an hour, you go pub.
Yeah, go home. Or come in here.
Yeah, come
crack
sit in
that
here.
fire open.
Here we are next. Spey Laddie. Do you reckon he's Scottish? He's got to be, hasn't he?
Got to be.
Spey Laddie. That's. I'm be very disappointed if you're not Scottish. Anyway, awesome video, guys. Learned a lot. 6 mils or 2 mils. 2 mils every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the question is it really necessary to use such a small bulk? I use 1 number 8 halfway between the float and the hook to stop it tangling when shipping out, and don't have a problem with this. Well, you sort of answered that already, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, talk me through your shotting and why.
So basically, when you put the paste in the pot, when you're shipping out with a 7-foot rig, it can twist, especially with that wind in your face. So having that bulk of like those 3 number 8s halfway up just kept everything tight from the paste pot to the tips.
Is that what your shotting was? Just a bulk?
Yeah,
of
yeah,
three,
just a bulk.
three number
Yeah,
eights?
3 number 8s. So it kept everything tight. So you never got any tangles. And in that circumstance, when you got that wind in your face, that is the perfect situation where you will get tangles. And the reason why I was using 3 number 8s is because it was 6 foot deep, so I had to use a slightly bigger float. So if I didn't use 3 number 8s, the buoyancy from that float will pull the hook out of the paste.
Yeah.
So that's why I got 3 on, and that's why I got it halfway up.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very, very difficult with paste, right? You're dealing with a bait where it comes off very easily. So getting your rig dead right, it's like
Massive,
you
isn't
change one thing and then it sort of changes something else. So you've got to try and get your rig to work in a way that you're happy and you know the paste is off.
Yeah.
And for me, you can see in that video for a few times you said it's off, and I'm like, yeah, I can see the bolt, I
Yeah.
see the body. So I was in that situation with that rig, so it worked for me. But other people might have different ways of doing it.
Yeah, I don't like that rig though. That he's
No.
mentioning just 1 number 8.
No, don't
I am
do it.
if it's 2 foot.
Yeah, 2 foot, that's fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think with a single number 8,
yeah.
your rig, it's amazing how messy your rig is, as in, it's not a straight line in the water. It's, and with no, what are we going to call it? Ballast almost to straighten the proportion of your rig out.
Yeah, it just doesn't
It's
work.
going to be too messy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Unless
just
it's
doesn't
flat
work.
calm, perfect,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, but you've got to remember the conditions weren't like that.
We didn't have none of that. Right, what are we on? Same question again. Ray cooling again. Having tried micros at 6 mils? Do we reckon 4 mils would have been a halfway point? Again, we're both in agreement. No.
Just think micros is best.
That is the one in it. They wanted to, with paste in particularly, that's what they want in it.
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't have liked to have fished anything else over it. Like feeding micros. I don't know, maybe a worm.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think we'd have caught with like pellets or corn or meat or anything.
Just don't think it would have been right. No.
They want micros in that lake. What we on? Urban Survivor. Well, incredibly stupid question here. This one's for me then, Cal. But what screen and camera are they using to get this underwater footage? Well, what we have Adam with his phone and he has a snorkel on and he just goes under and that's, no. What we have, the Matrix has spent lots and lots of pennies on getting some very, very posh camera equipment. They take 2 days before to get in and right, just so we can get a live feed. But we're not going to talk about that.
Not quite as simple as it's just chucking a camera in the lake and getting it right.
It is. It has to be perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and then
perfect.
there's so many things that have to be right so the fish don't get tangled in it.
Yeah.
It's a faffy process that me and Callum, thankfully, don't have to get involved in. So, what we on now? Oh, yeah, this looks like my time to question. Tim Joyce, absolutely baffled. Pace fishing, couldn't agree more, mate. That's why I was sat in the box. Not for me. What we on? Simon AD84. Do you think you've answered this one?
Yeah.
Think you should have tried a sloppier pace?
Yeah, I think a sloppier pace would have been better if the conditions would have been right. You couldn't do it.
No.
You just couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
You'd have just been shipping in and out.
Yeah, it just wouldn't have made a good video.
Oh, Norman. We've read your question, Norman. I haven't read this much for ages. So, Norman thinks 018's too heavy for the lumps.
Okay.
They pull a lot. Didn't the first one ruin you?
Oh, just gone.
It did, didn't it?
Unbelievable. I think because the clear water,
Yes.
and they don't get caught as often as maybe some of the other commercials. They just fight. Honestly, mate, I was fishing 20.024 and you would have just been broke on over 18.
Yeah, they absolutely. And I'm agree with that. And I'd happily fish 018 and no, they're horrible and they go and not good. Bait needs to be made for a finer bait that you're using. I think he means the paste.
Okay.
I don't disagree, but again, the conditions, you need your paste to stay on.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to film for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
It'd
needed
just
it to
pull
stay
off,
on
wouldn't it?
for a certain amount of time.
Yes, definitely. If you're not getting bites, use a smaller piece of paste. We never had the issue of them avoiding it or anything.
No.
Again, the hungry fish, they want to eat.
Yeah.
I'm having that maybe if you're catching skimmers or something.
I think the piece of paste that I was using was on the small side.
Yeah,
I see a lot of pace anglers. They use great big bits
What
of
have you had? Thumb?
Yeah, definitely. I think
a big piece,
when
is
I
it?
was fishing, I was worried that people were going to say, "Oh, your pace is too small." But you saw the fish's mouths; they didn't have big mouths. So
No. What were you going for? 8 mil?
Yeah.
So I'm having that. Definitely perfect size sort of paste we're having. Try using more ground bait paste as free offerings. It'd make no difference. But still in your peg. Vary your pace again. We can't talk about sloppy paste.
No.
Shape your bait. After seeing it, I think the only benefit the shape of your paste can have is keeping it on.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a meter or not.
No, absolutely not. As long as your hook's right in the middle of it.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, yeah.
Yeah, really, really simple with that one. Are we gonna? Another idea is to band the pellet, wrap it around the paste. What was that called? The conker.
Conker.
That's
right.
conker.
On a
Possibly. That would be when you've lost your brain and right, get out there and
I'll book you in for a conker day then.
a conker session. Oh my god! And finally, too much shot. You've just answered that. You're not.
I can't, mate. That's how the rig works with that much shot and that size of float for the depth. It's all balanced. It all works like.
Have to look at the conditions for the day as well.
Yeah.
No, nice these one. I was quite gentle with him. I was going to unleash on that one.
Norman.
Anyway, here we go. Nice one. Rich, 1K2. Oh, this is a good one. What with all these underwater videos, it has completely ruined the mystery of fishing. One of the joys of fishing is trying to work it out, not knowing what's happening under the water at any given time. And that's all gone now. It hasn't.
No.
It really hasn't, has it?
It's opened up everyone. It's opened up the mystery even more for me.
Yeah.
Because some days when I'm not getting a bite, I think there's just no fish in my peg. I might go home.
Yeah.
But I guarantee there's loads of times where you think that and there are fish in your peg.
Most of the time.
It's opened up mystery for me.
Yeah. It's made you not be... I'd be stubborn and think, I know what's happening there. I ain't got a big clue what's going on.
No.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What we've just spoke about fish being present and us saying, there's nothing there. Been sat there for 10 minutes, there's nothing
And
there.
if we didn't do underwater filming, everything would just be boring. We'd just be doing the same thing every
we'll
week.
just do overshot
me and you
videos
sat
every
there tapping the water or tapping in 10 maggots. It's just the same stuff.
Let's
You've
not
got to
do
do
that.
something different to keep you guys happy.
Of course we are.
You know?
No, they are. I enjoy watching them above all other technical fishing videos now.
Yeah. I think,
And it's seeing how they feed. Yes, there's no fix to it. There's no magic thing that we're going to learn and that's it, fishing fixed. Because every single day you go out, they're different. Every fish you catch, that'll stick by me word, they are all bell ends and don't want to eat your bait anyway. It's just, there's still so much not even to learn, just so much changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We just, with these fish, they're conditioned to how they are and where they live.
Yeah.
Go to a different place. It's an infinite book that can be written. There's no end to it.
If you draw near me in the next few weeks and you hear me use the term bell ends, you know exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah. I shout it regularly when I'm fishing, both about the fish and people around me. But anyway, right next on, Andy Taft, amazing video. Colours change made such a difference in the clear water, massively. Oh, I like this. It'd be interesting to see if pink could make a difference in heavily stocked coloured water of a commercial. Would a different colour paste be needed to stand out? I like that one.
Yeah. I think colour goes in trends. So you think about a method feeder, there's certain colour baits that work with method feeders and they'll work for a certain amount of time and then you need to change.
Yeah, fish get sick of it.
Yeah, they get sick of it and they just get used to getting
Ooh, not throughout a session, you mean? Not throughout a year?
Maybe
on the day.
A bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you think about it, like in normal fishing, like sometimes you change your hook bait and it's miles better, isn't it? So like maybe there's something else to try. Maybe changing it through your day, through the period of 6 months. You just need to change, I think.
Yeah,
you know?
something right for you. And in coloured water, I'm going to say more so.
Yeah, it should be, surely, shouldn't it?
Potentially, yeah.
Because they need to see it, surely.
Yeah, but maybe they're a bit less dubious in coloured water.
Maybe.
But it could go again, either way, couldn't it?
Yeah. It's something you've got to try, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it always works. The standout bait of whatever way, being a colour, a size, a different bait, is 9 times out of 10 the answer in the summer when they're eating.
Maybe in coloured water they rely more on smell than sight.
Oh, yeah, no thought
Maybe. I don't know. No one will ever know.
Yeah.
Because you can't film in dirty water.
No? Yeah.
Maybe.
There's, again, infinite book. What's this one? Kenton Smith. Paste is a method and bait unlike others. With variation on the hook bait, ingredients and loose offerings, everyone has their own ways. Reckon you could do a 6-part series on the method. Ta-ra, mate. Sorry, Kenton, no. I'm not doing that. That was paste done, isn't it?
Done for you, yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Paste done, Mike. We completed it. Leave it alone. Just fish pellets instead. But now it just become repetitive and boring, wouldn't it?
Just be boring. Yeah, I think we touched on the main things that you need to know about paste.
Of course it is.
And then that's it. That's done. Move on.
It is. It gets a little bit too monotonous after that. Martin Sparks. Just imagine. Ooh, I like this one. Just imagine how much testing of other baits goes on like this, which doesn't make the video. Trade secrets to give you even more of an edge. Imagine taking a camera to a local lake the day before you have a match on it and working out what bait and how you need to fish it and all that. Right. Nothing doesn't get shown, does it?
Nothing. No, we show everything.
There's no
secrets.
And there's no big thing to, like I said, there's no wow.
No.
There's no, oh, if you put that blue bit of flipping blue tack on, you catch one a chuck all day.
No.
It doesn't exist, does it?
No. In fact, what it does for me is when you film underwater, it shows how little we know rather than there is something out there to just catch everything.
Yeah.
There's always fish in your peg. There's always fish in your peg, and we don't know as much as what we think.
Yeah, it is. There's not any good bits. We want to show them.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be a flat video with, oh yeah, they're coming in.
We could have not shown about the pink paste.
Yeah.
But we did. We show everything.
You want exciting moments, don't
exactly.
you?
It's like the Matrix aren't going to spend all this money on thousands and thousands of pounds on gear, go to the extreme of taking us and fishing for 2 days and then not show you something.
And us say, no, you're not showing.
No, we're not showing because we want to keep it. Yeah, I know what Craig would say.
Yeah.
No, don't come back, Jay.
Yeah. Sorry, not for you this anymore. Instantly sacked, but no.
No, we're not going to do that.
I swear on my littlest life, everything gets shown.
Yeah, it does.
Everything does in all fishing videos.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? We want to show it. We want it to work. We want to get done and get home.
Yeah.
That's how we want it to work.
The underwater film is not why Jay's won every match as ever to win. It's just because he is good. It's not. We don't hide anything.
It's like that. Was that my last one? That was the last one. So I want to go into that a bit more, or not into that a bit more, but I want to talk about underwater filming. And it was your first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That first ever underwater.
First one. Yeah. It was interesting.
What's the biggest thing you took from it? I know that's a bit of a.
How many fish are in your peg and how little you see.
Yeah.
That's the one for me. I thought when you have that many carp in your peg, when the fish are those size, and when they're feeding that aggressively, you would always see indications on your float. You just don't.
I love that. We all aim for perfection, don't we, in fishing? Think we're doing things perfect. It's impossible to achieve.
You can't do it.
Isn't it?
You can't do it. It's impossible.
So many outside elements, the bottom, the way the fish move, the weather. There's so many interfering factors coming in when you're fishing.
Yeah.
It is impossible to. You can't have that mentality that it's not right. I need to.
I think a lot of the time when I go fishing, I think I should have done this and I should have done that. But there's so many different variants and things that can happen. Yes. And a lot of the time, the things that you think you should have done maybe wouldn't have been right anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what makes fishing such an interesting sport, especially when you're competing. Like match fishing is just an incredible sport. There's nothing like it. There's so many different variants. It's not like throwing a dart at a board, is it?
No.
Where every single time you do it, it's going to be exactly the same. Fishing's always different, and that's why it's so good for me. Personally.
It is. It's incredible.
And then videos like this just highlight that situation, you know.
Fair play, mate. Well, on that note, Cal, it's getting very cold now.
Yeah, it's
so
chilly.
I think I've had enough of this. But as I say, we would like to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone that's watched it so far. And there is still a lot more to come. We're out. I think we're back out again in April, May time, depending on how cold it is.
Yeah.
We are going to do a lot more of these underwater ones, going in more depth than we've ever been before as we learn how to do things.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very much a learning process for us, just as much as it is for everyone else in this terms. But if you haven't already, click on that like button down there, and hopefully you will see more content as it comes out. And for us, we're going to go and get in our cars where it's nice and warm, and we'll see you when it's nice and warm on the bank, hopefully catching a lot more fish, maybe shallowed. Oh, that's what they can do. Give us some comments. Let us know what you'd like to see next on Matrix Submerged. What would be the one to lift the lid on the type of fishing you like the most?